Time to get your spinnerets ready because today we're going to be talking about Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 1. Stay tuned, guys. Welcome back, Frontline fans, and yes, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comics to buy. And yes, like I said, we're going to be talking about that brand new, highly anticipated series, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, and I cannot wait for this book, guys. This is promised by Chip Zdarsky to be a more traditionalized Spider-Man. When he's not being CEO of a big cooperative or corporate headquarters and no high-tech stuff, he's just Spider-Man swinging through the city fighting regular bad guys and stuff like that. And so do we get that in this first issue? Yes, we do. So Chip Zdarsky's the writer. We have Adam Kubert, who is the actual writer for this particular book, and we have Jordi Belair, who's the color artist. And it looks really good, guys. I thought the artwork was well done. I thought maybe some of the facial expressions could have been a little bit too serious, especially when it comes to Peter and Johnny Storm in this particular issue, because I feel like this is a little bit more lighthearted book. So I would like it a little bit more lightheartedness, and I would like the colors to be just a little bit brighter. But those are just little nitpicks. So let's talk about the story. Let's recap it, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on this particular introductory issue to Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. So in this book, it opens up as Peter reliving his origin story. It's not complete without a Spider-Man story without an origin story, right? And so they do this in one page, but they make it fun. They sit there and they have Peter Parker and Johnny Storm having lunch with each other, and Spider-Man just spitting out his origin story. He's like, why do you feel that you have to tell me your origin story? And it's just hilarious, the chemistry with each other, because these guys are friends all the way back from the old days. And I like how this book hits on that traditional spot right from the beginning, having these two guys hang out and be friends. They go their separate ways, and Peter says, hey, I promise I won't forget about the movies. We're going to go hang out tonight. So they're going to go hang out at the movies. In the meantime, we get a little bit of Aunt May in here talking to Peter, saying, hey, you should go out there and you should go out there and date, Petey, you know. And he's just like, oh, I gotta go, Aunt May. I gotta fight some of the bad guys. And at the same time, he's missing fighting the lower level people, you know, where he came from, the roots of Spider-Man. And right away, though, he winds up finding a bad guy that was robbing a bank. And there was a bad guy that was holding a gun to a young lady. And he winds up capturing the burglar, and he winds up saving the young lady. Ant-Man is there also to come aid him, you know, to his side. And I thought that was really cool, as he's kind of a funny character as well. And the person that Spidey saves her name is Rebecca London. And right away, this shows the reader that there's a particular love interest, maybe, in the works for Peter here. And what's kind of cool is she is a comedian, and so it would be cool if these two actually do get together and they can kind of play off of each other's jokes. I think that would be really neat, as they kind of have something maybe in common. And it will be interesting to see where this relationship goes in the future as well, if it does go further, and maybe he might reveal himself to her that he is Peter Parker. But when he saved her, he came across this phone that has this Stark Tech in it, and it's impossible to get hacked, but one got hacked, and he wants to find out who hacked this and who has this particular phone. Also, Spider-Man's web shooters wind up getting jammed in the battle, and him and Ant-Man wind up going to this guy's name. His name is Manson, and he's actually the brother of the Tinkerer, which I thought was really neat. And the Tinkerer's brother has been out of the spotlight for many, many years, obviously, because we've never seen him before. And now he wants to do some good, and he wants to help the good guys by fixing their things. So he fixes Spider-Man's web shooter, he fixes Sam Wilson's wings, and he fixes Ant-Man's helmet. They part ways, and we wind up seeing Spider-Man, who goes out and he's going to track this Stark Tech. and he sets up a date with young Rebecca here as well. So this is a young relationship blooming. But in the meantime, Peter Parker, what does he do? He forgets his date with Johnny Storm. And Johnny Storm is waiting by the actual door, waiting for Peter, you know, at 7:30. It's 7:39. There's people walking by, going to Johnny and saying, "Hey, are you Johnny?" And he's like, "No." And he's like all pissed off, and it's so funny. So what happens is Spidey comes across the location of where this particular hacked phone is, and we wind up finding out that it's this Iron Man impersonator who is wearing some kind of Stark tech and goes and attacks Spider-Man. At the very end of the issue, now this is a huge spoiler, and if you want to fast forward it about a minute or so, go ahead and do that. So here it is. Here is the spoiler. At the end of this issue, Johnny Storm is waiting. Just as he's about to walk away, he comes across a beautiful young lady. And he goes, "Hey, I actually just became free." And the female goes, "Well, I was actually about to ask you if you were talking about Peter Parker, because my name is Teresa and I'm her sister." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "What is going on?" And when I said that, when I read it, the next panel, Johnny Storms goes the same thing. He goes, "Wait, what?" And you're just like, what the heck is going on? Where did this girl come from? Is it truly his sister, or is it like adopted sister, or is it from his parents? Like, what's going on there, what? And the next issue is called Wait, What? And then at the end of the book, there's this nice little story with Black Widow and whatnot that you can read on your own leisure. But I was like, holy cow. So what did I think about this first issue of Spider-Man? I thought it was really good. I thought it hits on all those traditional feelings of the character, but yet does something new and fresh at the same time. You know, we have that traditional feel when he fights bad guys that are burglars, but yet he meets a new possible female love interest. He hangs out with Johnny Storm, which is an old friend, but he, you know, he has now what is a sister. Which, is she a clone? Is she a Ben Reilly? I don't know. You know, but I'm just saying, it's something new and different that we haven't seen. So, I like how they mix with the old with the new, and it drops a huge cliffhanger at the end. And it'll be very interesting to see the progression of this story. And if we continue to stay kind of on that street level with this particular book, and not the Amazing Spider-Man level. And if it stays on this Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man level, the street level Spider-Man, I'm going to enjoy this a lot more, because this is more of the Spider-Man I read, and I think a lot of other people read in the olden days, in like the 60s and 70s. Sorry if I offended you. And not this crazy high-tech Spider-Man that we're reading now. So, in the end, besides a few nitpicks about some darker art, you know, darker coloring, and some facial expression issues, I think I really like this story, and I really piqued my interest on where this book is going to go. So I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I had a lot of fun with it. The introductory issue, the 0 issue, was a blast as well. So hopefully it keeps up with that humor. And guys, now it's your turn in the comments below to tell me what you thought of this particular first issue. Are you excited? Do you have a feeling that this is going to be better than The Amazing Spider-Man? And fans, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline. Check out comicfrontline.com and check out our live show that happens each and every Tuesday night, starting at 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to subscribe to Comic Frontline, as we can't do it without you. And I can't talk anymore. Must be heat stroke from all the tennis and all the sun. So again, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next comic book review. Bye, guys.